Hey, Christina Brown here with the Brown team. Something we are seeing happen all the time right now are all of these offers and buyers agreeing to go as is. What in the world does that mean? Is that something you should consider? Well, I thought that was a topic worth discussing today. Let's start with what is as is. Do you know there are actually several different definitions of as is? The buyer may be thinking one version, the seller could be thinking another, the agents could be thinking another. So you have to be very, very careful. Stay away from using the terms as is because there are multiple definitions. So let's dive in. What is as is? Well, like I said, there are different definitions. A lot of times sellers will say, I want to sell this as is. What they are typically meaning is, I don't want to do any work. I don't want to make any repairs. That's really all that they know to say. They don't really know that there's a lot of other things and details that go into that. So then the agent will write as is on the listing when they post it in MLS, so a buyer comes along and they're like, oh, okay, it's as is. Well, what's the buyer's definition of as is? Does it mean, well, they prefer not to make any repairs, or they absolutely won't? Well, the best advice I have is use one of these. Because these are used so often now, they have now defined different terms of as is. So this is called our in its present condition addendum. On this in its present condition addendum, they actually give you 3 options to choose from. That way buyers and sellers all agree on which box, which terms, and everyone is on the same page, so we hopefully avoid issues. That's what we always want to do, right? We want to keep everybody out of court later. Let me first read a couple of spots on this. It says, first of all, that the seller makes no warranty, expressed or implied, including without limitation, any implied warranty of merchantability or fitness for any particular purpose. So they're saying, hey, if you take it as is, they're not saying that everything is perfect. It's saying if you take it as is, then this property is being sold in its present condition, which includes all latent and patent defects and conditions. Then again, we'll figure out which box everybody means, but then it also says that if understood by all parties that this is in its present condition, it does not relieve the seller of the obligation to disclose all material facts of which seller has knowledge relating to the condition of the property. So anything the seller is aware of regarding condition of any and everything on that property, they have to disclose it still. They are just saying one of 3 things. Okay, option 1 says, buyer is entitled to conduct inspections, of course at their expense, per whatever terms are outlined in the inspections paragraph of the contract, and the seller will make no repairs or treatments, talking about termite, pest treatments, things of that nature. The buyer will have the right to cancel the contract during the inspection period if the results are unsatisfactory, but the buyer waives any right to renegotiate. So this is saying you can do inspections, buyer. It's basically just for your knowledge, so you know what's wrong with it, and you can either take it or leave it. There you go, option 1. Option 2 is buyer is entitled to conduct inspections for informational purposes only. Seller will make no repairs or treatments again. And the buyer waives any right to cancel the contract due to the inspection findings, right? And the buyer also waives any right to renegotiate. So on this one, yes, buyer, you can do inspections again at your expense. Seller will make no repairs or treatments, but you take it. If you don't take it, the seller will keep your earnest money. All right, so that's option 2. Option 3, the final one, which is the most restrictive for the buyers, and it is the buyer waives any right to conduct inspections whatsoever. Sellers will make no repairs or treatments. So you don't even have a right to do any inspections. You're completely waiving that. You cannot do any. Now, I do know there are some buyers that are bringing inspectors with them, or contractors or people they trust to look over things when they're looking at the property initially before they make an offer. That may be something to consider. I also think it depends on what kind of buyer you are. If you're an investor and you're savvy and you buy a lot of houses and you have a lot of resources. You may not be super concerned about things that come up wrong with the house. However, if you are a first-time home buyer, I do not recommend that you do that. You really want to know what you're buying. You don't want to get into a money pit and regret it later. This market is just so crazy though that I know buyers just want to get something, but you still need to keep your wits about you, right? Don't get so emotionally tied in that you make a huge mistake. So we want to try to help you avoid making a huge mistake and just try to look at everything we possibly can, but really be careful on what you choose. And I hope that helps. If you have questions, reach out. Always here to help.